If you have the Pixel 11, the 11 Pro, the Pro XL, and maybe even the Pixel Pro Fold, there's a good chance you're missing at least half of what it can actually do. Google more or less buries most of this stuff 2 or 3 menus deep, and the default settings or setup walks you past almost everything. So in this video, I'll be showing you the first 11 things worth doing right now on your Pixel. So that being said, let's begin to see what I have done on my phone. Starting with one of the newest features on the Pixel 11, we are talking about camera looks. And the idea here is that you can give your camera different color profiles to suit whatever you're trying to do. So to get this, go into the camera app. At the bottom right, tap the icon right here and then tap on looks. You get the original look as a default setting plus 3 different alternatives. On top of all these, they are giving you 6 more film-inspired styles you can swipe into. So that's 10 different looks to choose from. So none of these are filters that you can just slap on your camera for a gimmick. Google is actually changing how your sensor should process a picture after another one. And every style is still fully customizable on top of that. Next up is the audio visualizer and social media grid. And with the Pixel 11 Pro and the Pro XL, there's a new creator suite that is made for creators. Open your camera app, slide to the video mode, click on the settings icon here and tap on creator. It has a bunch of new features like the teleprompter, but it's 2 things I want to focus on in this video, and that is the audio visualizer and the social media grid. The audio visualizer gives you a live visual of your mic levels right in the viewfinder while you're recording. So you will know in the moment if you're too quiet or your audio is clipping, instead of finding out when you're trying to edit your video. Now, the social media grid lines do something I didn't know I needed until I had it. They show you exactly what parts of your frame are going to get covered once that video is uploaded to things like Instagram or TikTok. So you're not accidentally cutting off your own face behind a caption bar or a profile picture icon. It's kind of good, to be honest. So Gemini intelligence is something Google is pushing again on the Pixel 11 series. And with every Pixel comes around 6 months of Google's AI Pro, and you will need to pay a monthly subscription after it expires. But Gemini is easily one of the better AI systems, especially for workspace emails and how it knows me and helps me with my admin stuff. Now, one thing you need to know, or you need to make sure you do, is that you have to make Gemini tailored to you as you go along. And to do that, you have to go into something called personal intelligence. So inside the Gemini app, tap your picture at the top right corner of the screen and then tap on personal intelligence. There you can choose which apps it can actually pull information from. So Gmail, Photos app, Keep Notes, Calendar, and all that good stuff. You can then choose to not let it have any of your information, but the answers it'll give you aren't tailored to you. It'll be very, very generic. Next up is number 4, and I would like to talk about 2 features because one of them is only exclusive to the 11 Pro and the 11 Pro XL. So if you're watching this video on the Pixel 11, you might just want to skip ahead. So the first one is called HiLight, and it is an LED that is sitting right in a camera flash. And to get it to work, you have to go into your settings, scroll down to your system, tap on HiLight and make sure it's turned on. Next, to make it more practical, open the contacts app, go into your favorite contacts page and assign one of the 5 colors that are available. Now, if your phone is face down on the table and somebody should call, you know who it is and you can then decide if you want to answer it or ignore the call. It also glows when Gemini is listening, thinking, or responding, so you get more of a visual feedback without staring into your screen waiting for Gemini to reply you. The second one I would like to talk about is Flip to Shush, and it is another great feature. So to turn it on, you have to go into your settings, then tap on modes, and then tap on Flip to Shush. You can then customize it for people, for apps, as well as your display settings, and you can do a lot with this feature. So go around, test it out, and see what works for you. Number 5, we have gesture navigations, and it is the default whether we like it or not. If that's not really your style, head to your settings, tap on system, then tap on navigation mode, and switch back to the classic 3 buttons at the bottom. Neither one is objectively better. It's just about what your thumb is used to and how long you've had an Android phone in your hand. Personally, I would always go for full gesture navigations. I like swiping stuff, is easier for me. And if you use gesture navigations, make sure you turn on swipe to invoke Gemini from the corner as well, as it is one of the easiest ways to get to Gemini. So the next one is in tandem with number 5, and that is screen timeout and screen attention. Now the screen times on a brand new Pixel is 30 seconds by default, which gets old very quickly if you're reading something or you're showing someone a picture across the table, and it gets very annoying. You can then extend it to whatever you want to do, and after you do, make sure you turn on adaptive timeout and screen attention so the front camera can tell you're still looking at it before it locks you out. It is a very underrated combination. Okay, so number 7 is my favorite one because it has to do with your home screen and how you more or less customize it. If you have the Pixel 11 Pro XL, you have a lot of space on your screen, so you have to use it. Long press on your home screen, tap on wallpaper and style, and tap on layout at the bottom of the screen, and you can then size up your home screen to whatever you want so you can fit all the apps you want. Next is all about making sure your Pixel feels like your Pixel, and we're talking about themed icons and lock screen customizations. Now, the first thing you need to do is go back into your wallpaper and styles and turn on minimal icons, and this matches your wallpaper color palettes, which just makes your phone look very good. You can also change how your lock screen looks by changing the clock style, adjusting your colors, and swapping out those two icons at the bottom for something that you actually use instead of what Google picked out for you. This is one of those settings that takes about 2 minutes and changes how the phone feels every single time you pick it up for the next few years. And it is very easy to skip this because it doesn't feel functional, but you're going to be looking at your screen more than almost anything else on this phone, so it is something that you should look at. Next, we have car crash detection and satellite SOS, and these are two features you'll be glad you set up before you actually need them, and hopefully you never have to use them. So crash detection uses your phone's sensors to guess if you've been in some sort of an accident, and it can then call for help automatically, even if you're in a position to use your phone or not. So satellite SOS keeps you more reachable even when you've got 0 bars on your phone, which matters more than people think until they're the ones stranded without a signal on a road trip somewhere without coverage, hoping their phone still has some way to reach someone. So SOS is pretty good, to be honest. Number 10 is screen resolution, and out of the box, it's not running the full resolution, which is kind of strange for a phone this expensive. So all you have to do is go into your settings, tap on display, tap on screen resolution, and push it to the max. It costs you a little battery life, but I think it is worth it when you see how sharp your screen looks, especially on a screen this size, where the difference is actually noticeable and not just a marketing gimmick. And finally, we have all the AI features that makes calling and receiving calls worth your while. And one of the first ones we're talking about is scam detection. So to turn it on, tap on your phone app, tap on the settings, and it's just there working until you need it. Call screening handles the numbers you don't really recognize before you even say a word. It answers on your behalf. It shows you a live transcription of what the caller is saying, and it lets you decide if it's worth picking up or just letting it go to voicemail. Hold for me is for the calls you do want to make, but you don't want to sit through the whole waiting process. It waits on hold for you and taps you the second an actual person picks up the phone, so you're not stuck listening to elevator music for 20 minutes waiting on a customer service to remember that you exist. And call notes wraps things up after the call ends instead of during the call. Once you hang up, it generates a short AI summary of what was discussed, so you're not scrambling to remember details or, writing things down mid-conversation. Between all four, I think this is one of the most useful reasons to own a Pixel over any other Android phone on the market right now. And the crazy part is, some people never turn any of them on. It's kind of crazy. And that is your Pixel 11 setup the way it should be out of the box. You're getting a clean setup that you can be proud of. And every single thing on this list changes something about how you're going to use this phone every single day. And not just on day one when everything still feels exciting, but 3 to 6 months from now when you've stopped thinking about the setup entirely and it's just how your phone works. And if you found this video useful, please like and subscribe to the channel, as it is one of the best ways to help us out. My name is KJ, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.